The following matchup is being played with History Maker Baseball Full Play, a big league baseball simulation board game, your own baseball legacy on your game table. This game is a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2013, all rights reserved. Welcome to a very special edition of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. In today's episode, it's Memorial Day, and we here in the United States, as we are going to be honoring those who have served for this entire week of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. Today, we are going to kick off this very special week with our very own Army versus Navy matchup played with Full Play History Maker Baseball. Your probable starters are Whitey Ford and Bob Feller. Who will come on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in to find out because first pitch is right around the corner. But before we get there, let's have a little look and say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's very special edition of Rivalry Night as part of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. We would like to take time to say thank you to our official Play Game sponsors for sponsoring today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. This episode, first of all, is being brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And again, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. Hey, it's a blend of hops, rice, and barley that gives Bitty Beer its taste. But we know better. It's our brewing process that gives our beer that one-of-a-kind flavor that no premium beer can match. Our vats have never been cleaned. There's an itty-bitty bit of history in every can. Bitty Beer, the beer for folks who can't afford better. And by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the Play Games community. Doc Cola uses finest ingredients to bring you that sugary blast of caffeine you've come to know and love. Twice the sugar and 3 times the caffeine of any other major. Doc Cola is sure to keep fired up from dawn till dusk. Take the Doc Cola challenge. See why our customers agree you'll never be able to wean yourself from a refreshing Doc Cola. And by Pizza Kingdom, the official pizza joint of the Play Games community. Pizza Kingdom, our signature New York style pizza, starts with crust. Then we layer on our homemade pizza sauce and load your pizza up with mounds of cheese. When it comes out of the oven, piping hot, golden brown, and ready for you to enjoy. Then we give the majestic culinary work of art to Mikey, our 16-year-old delivery driver who has responsible as a tree. Pizza Kingdom, it's sheer perfection. Left the store. Owned by Suncoast Capital Banks. At Suncoast Capital, we live by one simple rule of investing. When our clients win, we win. When our clients lose, we win. Suncoast Capital, you know we're going to get all of your money anyway. And by Rubicon Wireless. Why pay $200 a month for wireless service when you get 4 lines for just $25 a month? With our tin can plan, you can access our wireless network that covers at 25% of coast to coast between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4:30 a.m. Unlimited text and messaging those hours, of course. So why overpay for services you cannot live out? Rubicon Wireless. On this very special Memorial Day here in the United States, we are playing ourselves out a very fine, epic rivalry matchup that is most considerable on the gridiron, but it is transferred over to the baseball field as the U.S. Army will face off against the U.S. Navy in our very special Those Who Have Served All-Star game. And again, I'm playing. Normally, I will be playing this game with three full fresh, 3 semi-fresh. But for today, so that way everyone has a chance to hopefully get into the game. For the pitchers, I will play it for their freshness. I'll play it as 1 full fresh, 1 semi-fresh. As for your lineups, they're out on screen right now. Luke Appling for the Army will lead things off and play short. Jackie Robinson will bat second and play second. Batting third and playing center field, Willie Mays. Batting fourth, the left fielder, Ty Cobb. Batting fifth and playing first base, Ernie Banks. Batting sixth and playing catching and doing the catching is Joe Garagiola. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Bobby Dorr. Batting eighth and playing right field, Al Bumbry. And batting ninth and playing third base, Cecil Travis. Whitey Ford is on the mound for the Army. For the Navy, leading off and playing center field is Don DiMaggio. Batting second and playing third base is Pee Wee Reese. Batting third and playing first base, Stan the Man Musial. Batting fourth and doing the catching for the starting pitcher for today's game is Bob Feller. Yogi Berra will be behind the plate for the Navy. Batting fifth, the second baseman will be Billy Herman. Batting fifth is Billy Herman. Batting sixth is Johnny Pesky. He is the designated hitter for today. Batting seventh and playing left field will be Don Lenhart. Batting eighth and playing right field will be Larry Doby. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, Phil Rizzuto. Bob Feller is on the mound as he is just about finishing up his warm-up tosses as we speak. And without further delay, we are playing this game with full play History Maker Baseball. And let's see and find out who it will reign supreme between the Army and the Navy. It's time to play ball. We'll start with a 1-1-2. Flash. Bob Feller does have flash, so therefore that is going to be a strikeout to begin this ball game. And that'll bring up Jackie Robinson. 3-3-6. Ace or dynamic? Bob Feller is a semi-ace, so the decider die says he's not. Sat sack on Robinson. He's not. So therefore, that is going to... Oh, excuse me. Ace or dynamic? No. I'm sorry, semi-ace, decider dice says no. Sad sack, utility, or patient. Jackie Robinson does not have either, so therefore that's going to be a single in the center, and Jackie Robinson is on at first base for Willie Mays. And we are going to go to the the player experience chart for this at bat for Willie Mays. We have a 16 icon pitcher. Bob Feller is an icon, so therefore he fools Willie Mays into swinging an inside pitch, and that is going to be a ground out to short. And right away, that is going to be a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning, to end the top half of the first for the Army. So the Army get one runner on, so no runs, a hit, and no errors, and a man left on base for the U.S. Army. It's U.S. Army nothing, and the Navy are coming to bat in their half of the first inning. Oh, yeah, and I did forget to mention we'll be using the actual umpires that are carded for the History Maker Baseball military, those who have served set. If you like what, if you want to get yourself a copy of this set, I'll leave a link down in the description box below to the Play Games website. It's on the freebies page under History Maker Baseball for this card set. So with that being said, we go back to the main chart for the leadoff batter, Dom DiMaggio. And again, for the umpires, we'll rotate the umpires based on starting with the first four umpires on the in the card set. Then we'll move to the next four, then the next set of four, then the next set of four, one by one until we have a respectable amount of until we have all umpires in that set be the home plate umpire at least once in this ball game. With that being said, Dom DiMaggio will lead things off for the Navy with a 3-3-5, and that is going to be Wild on Ford. No. Sad sack on DiMaggio. No. That is going to be a single to right, stolen base. Stoic holds. Dom DiMaggio is going to get a single and a stolen base, so he's going to go to second base. And that's where we find him for Pee Wee Reese's turn up at the dish. 1-1-5. Fresh, and again, I'm playing this today's game as one full fresh, one semi-fresh. We will be resuming our 3 full fresh, 3 semi-fresh when we have our next episode on Wednesday for the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. So in this case, Whitey Ford is fresh, so therefore that is going to be a pop fly to the choice of infielder, and we'll say it's a usual pop fly to second. The infield fly rule has been placed into effect as the second baseman, Jackie Robinson, is camped underneath that baseball. He makes the catch, and there is one down in the inning. Another 1-1-5. Fresh, and again, yes, it's going to be a pop fly. It's going to be a pop fly to choice of infielder, and that is going to now be the shortstop keeping the runner at second base at bay. And there are 2 gone in the inning for Yogi Berra. 4-5-5. Flash. Ford has semi-flash. The decider die says he does not. Home run king on Berra. He's a semi-home run king. The decider die says you bet he does. Therefore, Yogi Berra puts a charge into this one. Out to deep right field. It is high. It is far. It is gone. The Navy lead 2-0 off of a 2-run shot by Yogi Berra as the U.S. Navy take a 2-0 lead as we have 2 gone in the inning for Billy Herman, the second baseman for the Navy, to take his turn at the dish. 1-5-6. Excuse me. Whiffer He's not a whiffer, so therefore we got some outfield drama ensuing, folks. 24, center fielder gold. The center fielder in this game is Willie Mays. So therefore, he is not gold. So that is going to be a ball slips through it for a base hit. And there's a runner's going to reach. Billy Herman will reach, and we will go now to the purple chart. And again, I'm treating just like every team throughout this inaugural season of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, as they are being treated on a neutral playing field. So that means nobody is taking advantage of who's harmonious and who's dissonant or not. So with that being said, we have a 13. Pitching team harmony, well, again, everyone is being treated neutral, so therefore, that is going to be another base hit. Runners advance station to station. Herman is on at second, with Pesky on at first, as he lays the base hit in for a single, and that is going to prompt a mound visit from the catcher, as we do see that bullpen going, and we do see a nice little flamethrower down in the bullpen for the Army as the Army starts their bullpen. Again, this will be treated as an all-star game with everyone having one full fresh and one semi-fresh inning. With that being said, Don Lenhart will be the next batter off of the baseball right now charts. 15, cold batter. Well, again, no one will be treated neutral. Everyone will be treated neutral. No one is taking advantage of who's hot and who's cold. So therefore, no. That is going to be a batter pounce. Batter pounces on pitch for single through shortstop, and that is going to load the bases up. Oh boy, the boss Whitey Ford may not get out of the first inning, as the Army manager is going to try to see if he can make sure he gets to Larry Doby to allow Nolan Ryan Nolan Ryan, who's up in the bullpen, as we're being told, as he's getting loose out there in the bullpen for the U.S. Army. And we are now going back to the main chart for Larry Doby to see if the boss, Whitey Ford, can get out of the inning. 355. 355. Here we are. Struggler, currently no. Champ on Doby, no. That is going to be a ground out to second base unless he is a whiffer. He is, so therefore, that is going to be a strike 3 called on Larry Doby, and that is going to be it, but not before damage was done, thanks to Yogi Berra, as he laced a 2-run home run into the cheap seats in right field, as the U.S. Navy leads their rivals in the U.S. Army 2-0 after 1 inning of play. Casey will be the new pitcher on for the U.S. Navy, as Bob Feller has pitched a nice, good full inning of work. And the U.S. Navy is going to try to protect their lead with Hugh Casey, as he has semi-star and full control on his card. As we do see both pens going to work for both teams, as Ty Cobb will lead things off for the Army in the top half of the second here at the ballpark. 136. Ace on Casey, no. Whiffer or cold on Cobb, he's not. So therefore, we got a little bit of infield drama ensuing, folks. And let's see what we got. 13. Third baseman iron. The third baseman for this game is Pee Wee Reese. Yes, Pee Wee Reese. We ask, is he iron? He is most certainly not iron. So therefore, that is going to be a routine ground out. And we'll say that's a routine 5-3 put out to the third baseman. And there is one gone in the inning for Ernie Banks. 446 back on the main charts. 446. Here we are. Star pitcher Hugh Casey is a semi-star pitcher. The decider die says yes, he is. That is going to be a grounder to second, the usual 4-3 putout for the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the catcher Joe Garagiola off of the main chart. Another 446. Star. Casey is a semi-star, and this time the decider die says yes, he is. So therefore, that is going to be another ground out to second, and that is going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Casey here in the second inning. So the Navy manager goes over to tells Casey, hey, do you mind going back out there if we hang on to this lead? And Casey's like, yep, absolutely, because we want to make sure everyone tries to get at least one inning of work in. So with that being said, after 1.5 innings of play, your score is the U.S. Navy 2 and the U.S. Army nothing. Timeout. Off we go to the bottom half of the second, and we do see a new pitcher on the mound for the Army, and that is Nolan Ryan. He has the star and flash quality credited to his name. Without further delay, he's going to lead things off, he's going to start his day facing off against Billy Rizzuto for the Navy. 145. Struggler, no way. That is going to be a grounder to first or third base, and I usually go by handiness. So therefore, Billy Rizzuto will ground out to third base, a 5-3 putout in the scorebook for the first out of the inning. 346. 346. Here we are. Eager on down DiMaggio. No way. That is going to be a walk. And usually that is going to tick off the flamethrower, Nolan Ryan. And active steals. No, Don DiMaggio's not active. We go to the team chemistry chart for Pee Wee Reese. And again, everyone is being treated as a neutral, on a neutral playing field. No one is taking full advantage of who's harmonious or who's dissonant or not, or who's hot and who's cold. So with that being said, we have a 66. Batting team harmony. That is going to be a strike 3 called on Nolan Ryan. Good bounce back by the flamethrower, Nolan Ryan, to keep the score right here. And there are 2 gone in the inning for Stan the Man Musial off of the main chart. 115. Fresh. You better believe it. Nolan Ryan is fresh because I'm playing it as 3 full fresh, 1 full fresh. Oh, excuse me. 1 full fresh, 1 semi-fresh for today's game. And with that being said, it's going to be a pop fly to choice of infielder, and they are going to say the third baseman will make the play here, and that is going to be all she wrote for the top half for the first, the first 2 innings of this ball game. Your score after 2 innings of play is the U.S. Navy 2 and the U.S. Army nothing. We'll begin the top half of the third with Hugh Casey back out there on the mound, as we do see a new pitcher out there on the mound, as he wants, as the Navy the Army, I should say, is trying to get something going here. Let's see if they can do it right now against Hugh Casey. 256. Struggler, Champ or patient on door. He's a semi-champ. The decider die says he is. That is going to be a walk. Good start for the Army to get the lead runner on, and that is going to bring up Al Bumbry off of the main chart. Another 246. This time it says control on Casey. You better believe it. That is going to be a 1, and they're going to say, yeah, they want to go for Bumbry. So guess what? We're going to keep that as a typical back to the mound. They'll allow the runner to advance to second on the 1-3 putout. So Dorr is going to go to second base. Bumbry is out on the 1-3 putout. So with that being said, we go to Cecil Travis off of the main chart. We have a 155 home run king. Oh, Cecil Travis is not a home run king, so therefore that is going to be a fly out to center, and runners hold on flyouts, so there are 2 gone in the inning, and that is going to bring up Luke Appling off of the main chart. 1-2-2. Workman on Casey. No way. Champ or whiffer on Appling. Appling is a semi-champ. The decider die says no, he's not. So therefore, that is going to be a line out right to the hot corner at third base for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to be a nice job well done. 2 innings of work for Hugh Casey. And that is going to be all she wrote for the top half of the 3rd. The Army threaten but do not score. The Navy still hang on to a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Leadoff batter is Yogi Berra as he homered his last time up. Let's see what he can do this time to lead things off against Nolan Ryan. 1-2-4. Control. Nolan Ryan does not have control. Eager on Berra. Excuse me. No. So therefore, that is going to be a walk, and Yogi Berra will get on base once more for Billy Herman. 2-3-4. 2-3-4. Runners on base. Yes, there are. We got ourselves a little bit of plate drama. And it's going to be a 66. Control pitcher. No way. Nolan Ryan does not have control, so therefore catches scrambles to locate ball in the dirt. And that is going to be a pass ball, moving the runner Berra to second base. And they are going to go ahead and intentionally walk Billy Herman to get to Johnny Pesky. Oops. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to intentionally walk Herman to get to Pesky. And Pesky will take this opportunity to have runners on first and second for the umpire check. Yep, I'm going to say yeah for the umpire check. And oh, I'm sorry, it's a normal chart now. Sorry, it was not a umpire check. So therefore, I read the thing wrong. So therefore, we have 5-6-6. Wild. Ryan's not wild. Good eye. Pesky does have good eye. Foul tip. We still are in the at bat. So let's see what we got. 1-1-3. 1-1-3. Oh, excuse me. 1-3-3. Slugger. Pesky's not a slugger, so that's going to be a fly out to left. And that is a job well done. And here comes the manager for the Army, as Nolan Ryan and the Army did their job to get the first 3 batters, or excuse me, to get the first out here of the 3rd inning. So that is going to do it for Nolan Ryan. And we do see a new pitcher trotting in from the pen for the Army, and we will see who that is after we take this really quick timeout. And we're back here at the ballpark as Don Newcomb will be the new pitcher for the Army, the 3rd of the day for the Army, as we do see a new pitcher out there for both teams still getting warm up, and the same thing as we're treating this entire game as an exhibition all-star game, as the Navy is in front of the U.S. Army 2-0 with Don Lenhart on the up at the dish to face off against Don Newcomb. 2-5-6. Struggler on Newcomb? No. Champ or patient on Lenhart? He's a semi-patient batter. The decider die says... No, he's not. So we got a little bit of infield drama. Let me just make sure here. Struggler, no. Champ or patient, semi-patient, no. Okay, we got infield drama. I just want to make sure I read that correctly. So we have a 36. We ask, is the third baseman gold? The third baseman in this game is Cecil Travis. He's not gold. So therefore, batter will be safe at first via the error, and runner base running rules on 3x. You know what? They're going to take it. They're going to play it safe and load up the bases and don't score anybody. So they're going to load the bases up because we don't want to make sure we make an out or a mistake on the base paths. So that is going to end up being, back on the main chart for Larry Doby. 344. Prospect. Doby's not a prospect. Patient. Doby is a semi-patient. Oh, I'm sorry. Newcomb is not a prospect. Patient. Doby semi-patient. The decider die says yes, he is. That is going to end up being a bases loaded walk. Go station to station as it is now 3-0 in favor of the U.S. Navy. And we stay put on the main chart for Phil Rizzuto up at the dish. And we do see a new, we do see DiMaggio on deck as he's got a bat in his hand, ready to hit just in case. 2-3-3. Ace or star on Newcomb. He is a star, so therefore that is going to be a ground out to short. They're going to go home 6-2-3 on the double play to end the inning, and that is going to do it for the first 3 innings here in this very, very special All-Star game for Memorial Day to represent, though, to honor those who have served and those who have given their lives for the freedoms of the United States, of everyone around the world. With that being said, to those of you who have served, thank you for your service, and then of course we will never forget what you did for your country by serving, and of course defending our freedoms. With that being said, we go to the 4th inning with the score: U.S. Navy 3 and the U.S. Army nothing. Timeout. Some defensive changes for the Navy to begin the top half of the 4th. Ralph Kiner will be the left fielder, as Don Lenhart will move from left to right, and Larry Doby will be out of the game. And the new pitcher on the mound is Ed Barr for the U.S. Navy. He has semi-star and semi-flash credited to his name. We begin the top half of the 4th with the Navy in front of the Army, 3-0. 1-3-4. Gold catcher. Again, Yogi Berra is the catcher for the is for the Navy. He's not gold. Champ on Robinson. He's a semi-champ. The decider die says he is not. We're going to have a little bit of outfield drama, folks. And it seems we have a 36. Left fielder Stoic. The left fielder just came into this game, Ralph Kiner. He is Stoic. So therefore, ball gets past him for a single for Jackie Robinson. And we are going to go to the team chemistry chart for Willie Mays. And again, everyone is being treated on a neutral playing field. We have a 16 batting team to Sonnet. Everyone is not being harmonious or not taking full advantage of Dissonant or Harmonious. So therefore, that is going to be a base on balls, as it will be first and second for Ty Cobb. And with one swing of the bat, Ty Cobb could break this game or could bring this game to a tie, to a tie for the U.S. Army. We go back to the main charts with a 146 flash on bar. He has semi-flash. The decider die says he does not. Champ on Cobb. Yes, he does. That is going to be a bloop single and a left. And then the bases are loaded. Here come the Army now. Here comes Ernie Banks with the bases loaded, nobody out in the inning. 2-3-3. Ace or star on bar. He's a semi-star. The decider die says he's not. Slugger. Ernie Banks is a semi-slugger. The decider die says he is not. So therefore, that is going to be a fly out to center field. And it looks like active runner on third. Jackie's on at third base. He's a semi-active runner. Yeah, Jackie will be on third base. Mays on at second. Cobb on at first. So let's check if Robinson is active or not. And he is. So therefore, that is going to be a sac fly to 3 to center field. And the Army get on the board, courtesy of a sac fly from Ernie Banks, as it will be second and third now with Mays on at third, Cobb on at second, and there's one gone in the inning for Joe Garagiola off of the main chart. 116. Fresh. Again, I play it as one full fresh, one semi-fresh for all pitchers in this exhibition all-star game for this episode of Rivalry Night. And yes, he is fresh. So therefore, strike 3 called on Joe Garagiola. And that is going to be 2 gone in the inning for Bobby Doerr. 2-2-6. Was the batter hit by the pitch? And I go by it as dot is yes, blank is no. So therefore, no, he wasn't. Is Doerr the cleanup batter? He's not. So therefore, that is going to be a fly out to left unless he is a whiffer. He's not a whiffer. So therefore, that's going to be a fly out to left to end things here in the 4th inning, but not before a sac fly from Ernie Banks to score Robinson would be the case. As the Army gets on the board, it's still U.S. Navy 3 and the U.S. Army 1. Don Newcomb is back out there on the mound, as he is going to be now semi-fresh, as Dom DiMaggio will lead things off for the U.S. Navy. 2-2-4. Pitching at home, and again, everyone is being treated on a neutral. This is a neutral playing field, so neutral home. Everyone is being treated as a neutral home team. So with that being said, we'll go by what the decider die says. So in this case, Don Newcomb, yes, he is pitching at home. So therefore, pop out to short, and that is going to be the first out of the inning, and that is going to bring up Pee Wee Reese off of the main chart. 4-4-5. Workman on Newcomb, no. Patient on Reese, semi-patient. Decider die says no. That is going to be a ground out to first base, and that is going to be the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring up Stan the Man Musial off of the main chart. 2-2-6. Is Musial hit by the pitch? Nope. Cleanup batter? He's not. That is going to be a fly out to left unless he is a whiffer. He's not. So therefore, That is going to be a fly out to left, and that is going to do it for the first 4 innings of this one. Your score after 4 innings of play is U.S. Navy 3 and the U.S. Army 1. Ed Barr will face off against Al Bumbry, and then we're going to have to wait and see what the manager does, or excuse me, both managers do for in terms of starting to bring in some relief, to start bringing in some pinch hitters and starting to unload the bench for this all exhibition all-star game between the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Army, with the Navy in front of the Army 3-1. Bumbry is up at the dish with a 1-3-3. Slugger, he's not a slugger, so therefore that's going to be a fly out to left for the first out of the 5th inning, and that is going to bring up Cecil Travis off of the main chart. 2-5-6, yes, 2-5-6. Struggler on Bar, no. Champ or Patient on Travis. He's a semi-champ. The decider dice says he is. That is going to be a walk for Cecil Travis, and we do see the Navy manager pop out of the dugout, and it looks like that the Army manager has went to his bench, and so that prompted the Navy manager to go to his pen. So therefore, we'll find out who the new pinch hitter is and who the new pitcher will be when we get after we take this really quick timeout with the score: U.S. Navy 3 and the U.S. Army 1. It seems the U.S. Navy went to Haram Bithorn as the new pitcher for their side, and he will face off against the pinch hitter Bobby Bragan, as he has the semi-scrapper, semi-eager, and semi-good eye qualities. With that being said, we move on to the next at bat here with Bobby Bragan up at the dish. We have a 5-6-6. That is going to be Wild on Bithorn. No. Good eye on Bragan. He is semi-good eye. There, yes, he does. Foul tip, and it's still in the at bat, and we're going to roll once more with a 2-4-6. That is going to read 2-4-6. Here we are. Control on Bithorn. You bet. That is going to be a grounder to the pitcher, and they're going to have Bithorn at first. So therefore, that is going to be a nice little play to move the runner over, Travis over for Jackie Robinson up at the dish. 2-5-6. Struggler on Bithorn. He's not. Champ or Patient on Robinson. He is a semi-champ. The decider die says he is not. We have a little bit of infield drama, folks. We got a 34. Third baseman gold. The third baseman is Pee Wee Reese. He is not iron. Oh, I'm sorry, 34. Third baseman gold. Pee Wee Reese is a semi-gold fielder. The decider die says he's not. Therefore, it's going to be a base hit. So runners advance 2 bases on any hit, single or double. So the Army will creep a little bit closer, as it will be an RBI single for Jackie Robinson, scoring Cecil Travis. And it's all of a sudden a 1-run game. And we go to, back to the main chart for Willie Mays. 1-6-6. Workmen are gilded on Bithorn. No. Whiffer on Mays. That is going to be a ground out to third base. And that is going to end the inning, but not before the Army creeps home another run. It is all of a sudden U.S. Navy 3 and the U.S. Army 2. Timeout. It seems the new pitcher on the hill for the Army is going to be Warren Spahn. He has the star and full control qualities. So with that being said, the Navy needs to get something going here to increase their lead back to 2 runs. The score right now is Navy 3 and the Army 2, with Yogi Berra to lead things off for the Navy. And sorry about that, folks. We have a 136. Sorry about the delay there for just a little quick second. We have Ace on Spawn. No. Whiffer or Cold on Barra. No. That is going to be some infield drama ensuing. We have an 11. Pitcher Iron. Spawn is not an iron fielder, so therefore that is going to be he makes it the stab for an at the mound, so for it is going to be an easy ground out, 1-3 put out for Spawn on Barra, and that is going to bring up Billy Herman in a 1-run contest between the U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy, with the Navy leading the Army 3-2. 2-3-3. 2-3-3. Here we are. Ace or star on Spawn. He is a star, so therefore that is going to be a ground out to short. And that is going to be the second out of the inning for Johnny Pesky. 5-6-6. Wild on Spawn. No. Good eye on Pesky. Yes, sir, he does have good eye. So foul tip, it's going to still be the at-bat of Johnny Pesky with a 3-3-4. Ace or star on Spawn. Yes, sir, that is going to be a pop out to first base, and that will do it for the first 5 innings of this one. And before we get to the 6th inning, let's pause right here for as we present to you our mid-game summary presented by your favorite Biddy Beer products. And again, we remind you, if you choose to drink Biddy Beer, please remember to drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste at a Biddy price. It's Biddy Beer. And we're back here at the ballpark with the Navy in front of the Army 3-2 as we begin the top half of the 6th. Some defensive changes for the Navy as we get things going. Sam Chapman will be the new center fielder, and Johnny Lippon will be the new shortstop. Bill Dickey is the new catcher. And on the mound for the Navy will be Mace Brown, as he has semi-star, semi-flash, and semi-control. Up to the dish will be Ty Cobb to lead things off here in the top half of the 6th, with the Army still trailing the Navy 3-2. 2-4-6. Control on Brown. He's a semi-control pitcher, and the decider die says yes, he is. So that is going to be a ground out to the pitcher for the first out, and it'll be a 1-3 put out. And that is going to bring up Ernie Banks. 1-2-4. Control, semi-control on Brown. This time he doesn't have it. Eager on Banks. He's a semi-eager batter. The decider die says he is eager, so therefore that is going to be a pop out to first. The first baseman says, I have it. And the man Musial says, I got it. He puts it away in his back pocket for the second out of the inning, and that is going to bring out the catcher, Joe Garagiola, off of the main chart. 2-2-4. Pitching at home, again, everyone is being treated as a neutral home team, so we will refer to the decider die to say if it is a yes or no if they are pitching at home. In this case, it is pop out to short, and that is going to do it for the top half of the 6th here at the ballpark The score remains 3-2 as we head to the bottom half of the inning and expect a lot of defensive and another pitching change for the Army. When we head to the bottom of the sixth, it's going to be by the score of U.S. Navy 3 and the U.S. Army 2. Timeout. We're back here at the ballpark for the bottom half of the sixth inning between the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Army, as the Navy leads 3-2 over their rivals in the U.S. Army. We have a new pitcher on the mound in Wilhelm for the Army, and a couple of defensive changes for the Army, as Don Calloway will be in the game and play in second base. Gary Maddox will be in the game and play center field. Monty Urban will be in the game and play left. Stan Lapata will be behind the dish and play catch, and Red Schoendice will be into the game and playing playing as the designated hitter, and he is going to bat second when we get to the top of the seventh inning. Wilhelm is ready to go, and so are we, as he will lead things off against Don Lenhart off of the main chart. 4-5-6. 4-5-6. Here we go. Patient on Lenhart. He's a semi-patient. The decider dice says he is not. That is going to be a fly out to send. And sorry about that, folks. I was dealing to make sure I was playing the game correctly. So therefore, we resume play with Lenhart up at the dish for a 4-5-6. Patient on Lenhart. He's semi-patient and he's not. So therefore, that is going to be a fly out to center. We go to the team chemistry charts for Ralph Kiner in his first plate appearance of the game. .35. Pitching team to Sonnet, and again, everyone is on a neutral playing field, so therefore, that is going to be a ground out to short, and that is going to be the second out of the inning for Johnny Lippin off of the main chart. 4-5-5. Flash on Wilhelm. He is a semi-flash pitcher. The decider dice says he is. So therefore, that is going to be a strikeout unless Lippin has a good eye. He most certainly does have a good eye. So therefore, he will avoid the strikeout and will ground out right back to the pitcher for a 1-3 putout. And that is going to do it for the top half of the sixth. Your score after 6 innings of play is U.S. Navy 3 and the U.S. Army 2. Mace Brown will continue to pitch here while Tommy Byrne is up in the pen to get warmed up just in case if backup is needed. And we have Stan Lapata to lead things off for the Army. 1-4-5. 1-4-5. Struggler on Brown. No. So that's going to be a ground out to either the first or third base. So therefore, I go by batter's handiness. So therefore, it'll be a ground out to the third baseman, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Red Schoendice, off of the main chart with one gone in the inning. 2-3-5. Wild on Brown. No. Eager on Schoendice. No. That is going to be a ground out to second base unless he is a patient batter. He is a semi-patient batter. The decider dice says, I just want to make sure. Brown, no. 2-3-5. So Wild, no. Eager, he's not. So ground out to second. So therefore, unless he is patient, and he's not. So therefore, that is going to be a ground out to second. And there are two away in the inning for Al Bumbry off of the main chart. 366. Pinch hitter. No, Bumbry's not a pinch hitter. So therefore, that is going to be a fly out to left. And that is going to do it for the top half of the seventh. And after as we head to the stretch here on this very special Memorial Day, we present a very good rendition of God Bless America, followed by this very somber moment of silence. The score as we arrive here at the stretch is U.S. Navy 3 and the U.S. Army 2. And we're back here at the ballpark, and a nice, good rendition of God Bless America was sung, while the fine patrons here at the ballpark also sing a good chorus of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We continue on with Hoyt Wilhelm up on the mound with the Army down by 1 run. It's Navy 3, Army 2, as we have Sam Chapman to lead things off for the U.S. Navy here in the bottom half of the seventh inning. 1-2-5. 1-2-5. Struggler on Chapman. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Struggler on Wilhelm. No. I'm sorry. 1-2-5. Yes. Patient on Chapman. He's a semi-patient batter. The decider die says yes, he is. That is going to be a walk unless we have either a questionable or questionable or strict umpire. So let's take a look here. And currently it is, just double check. So again, we're using the actual umpires carded for the military, those who have served card set, the card set that I'm using. If you want to download a copy of this card set that I'm using, feel free to do so by clicking on the link in the description box below. So let's see here. So Angie Donatelli is the home plate umpire. Lee Balafonte at first. Jim Honachik is at second. And Nestor Shelock is at third base. And we ask, and we are looking for either a questionable or strict umpire. And it seems we have a semi-strict umpire. And the decider die was, yes, it was used to check if Chapman was patient. So therefore, is Donatelli, the home plate umpire, strict? He is. So therefore, that is going to be a called strike 3, just what the Army was looking for. And there is one down in the inning for Pee Wee Reese. 1-2-2. Workman on Wilhelm. No. Champer Whipper on Reese. No. That is going to be a line out to third base. And there are quickly 2 gone in the inning. And that is going to bring up Stan the Man Musial off of the main chart. We have a 3-4-4. 3-4-4. That is 3-4-4. Here we are. Prospect on Wilhelm. He is a prospect. This one is going to be well hit, folks, for a fence result. Stan the Man Musial has a full slugger, and we will use that for his advantage, as it is hit high, far, and it is going to be off the base of the wall for a double. So Stan the Man Musial will cruise on into second with a 2-out double for Bill Dickey up on the main chart. 266. Runner on first is thrown out. Well, unfortunately, there's no runner on first. Lead off batter, no. So therefore, that is going to be a fly out to right, and that is going to do it for the bottom half of the seventh. The Navy threaten, but do not add on to their lead. It's still Navy 3 and the Army 2. Timeout. And we're back here at the ballpark as Tommy Byrne will be the new pitcher for the Navy. He has semi-wild and semi-flash as we continue to move things along with a 3-2 lead for the U.S. Navy. It's close, and it's still anybody's game as we have Cecil Travis to lead things off here in the top half of the 8th inning. 2-3-5. Wild on Travis. Oh, I'm sorry. Wild on Byrne. He's a semi-wild pitcher. The decider die says he's not. Eager on Travis. He's not. So therefore, that's going to be a ground out to second unless he is patient. And he is not. So therefore, that is going to be a routine ground out to the second baseman for a 4-3 putout. And that is going to bring up Bobby Bragan off of the main chart. 1-2-4. Control on Byrne. No. Eager on Bragan. He is a semi-eager batter, and yes, he is, according to the decider die. So therefore, that's going to be a pop out to first base. Camping right under it is the first baseman, Stan the Man Musial, and he will make the catch for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Don Culloway off of the main chart. 2-2-6. Was he hit by the pitch? Yes, he was. So therefore, Don Calloway will go down to will go to first base after Tommy Byrne lost control of that pitch as Calloway got nicked on the arm or nicked on his elbow pad, and he was hit by the pitch. 2-4-5. Hero on Maddox. You bet he is. That is going to be a single in the left. Runners advance one base on singles, two bases on doubles. So, yep, it'll be a first and second situation now for Monty Irvin as the Army is trying to creep a little bit closer now, or possibly to tie this game, or possibly to take the lead. 4-6-6. Control? No. Home run king or slugger? He is semi-slugger, and the decider die says he does it. That is going to be a difficult choice. That is going to be a difficult ground out. That is going to go to the third baseman. This is going to be a tough play. He gets him. Wow. The third baseman, Pee Wee Reese, makes a nice, difficult play to get the out, and that is going to do it for the top half of the 8th, keeping the game right here at a 3-2 lead for the U.S. Navy. Timeout. And we are back at it here to begin the bottom half of the 8th as we have a new pitcher in Christy Mathewson, and it seems we have Dick Whitman in place of Al Bumbry in right field, as he will come into the game Whitman will come into the game and play right field. And with that being said, we kick things off with Billy Herman up the dish for the bottom half of the 8th inning, with the U.S. Navy leading it 3-2 over their rivals in the U.S. Army. 2-5-6. Struggler on Mathewson. No. Champ or patient on Herman. He's a semi-champ. The decider die says he's not. So therefore, that we got ourselves some infield drama, folks. And it seems we have a 12. Shortstop iron. The shortstop is let's see here. It's going to be Bobby Bragan. He is not iron. So therefore, he will make is he a gold fielder? He's not. Therefore, batter will be safe at first on an error So Billy Herman will be on base for Johnny Pesky up at the dish, and it will be at E6 on Bragan. We have a 1-4-5 for Pesky. Struggler on Mathewson. No. That is going to be a ground out to either first or third base. And I usually go by left and I usually go by handiness. So therefore, it is going to be a 3-6. Yes, a 3-6-3 double, or better yet, it will go, a 3-6-3 double play to erase Herman off the base paths. And there are two gone in the inning. 2-2-6. Was Lenhart hit by the pitch? No, he wasn't. Cleanup batter? No. That's going to be a fly out to left unless he is a whiffer. He's a semi-whiffer, and the decider die says he's not. So therefore, that is going to be a fly out to left. We go to the ninth. Last call for the U.S. Army as we see a new pitcher trotting in from the pen for the U.S. Navy. Timeout. George Earnshaw will be the new pitcher for the Navy. He is being given the task to get the Navy to shut down this inning and give them the victory here in this exhibition All-Star game between the U.S. Army and the U.S. Navy. Ernie Banks will lead things off here in the top half of the ninth with the Army down by 1 run. It's Navy 3 and the U.S. Army 2. 3-5-6. Same, and again, when we say same, it's righty versus righty, lefty versus lefty. We have a right-handed batter in Ernie Banks and a right-handed thrower in George Earnshaw. So therefore, it will be strike 3 called, 1 down the inning, and that is going to bring up Stan Lapata. 2-3-4. Runners on base. No. Hot batter. No one has taken full advantage of that. So therefore, it'll be a pop out to third. And there are 2 away. And that is going to bring up Red Schoendeist. The game rests on the bat of the Army's Red Schoendeist off of the main charts. 1-3-4 gold catcher. Again, the catcher is Bill Dickey. He's a semi-gold catcher, and yes, he is, according to the decider die. That is going to be a strikeout unless Red Schoendeist has a good eye. He does have semi-good eye. Does he have good eye? He does. So therefore, either way, that is going to be the ball game, as it will be a drop third strike. So normally it will be a 2-3 on the strikeout, but instead it will be a 2-3 putout, and that is going to do it, folks. The final score here for this very special edition of Rivalry Night, played with the History Maker Baseball, those who have served card set. The final score and the right to sing second is the U.S. Navy 3 and the U.S. Army 2. We hope that you enjoyed today's very special edition of Rivalry Night as we took a really big All-Star game for America's series as we featured the best of the United States Army against the best of the United States Navy. Well, it seems we ran out of time for this very special edition of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour on this Memorial Day here in the United States. But never fear, let's see what's coming up next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour. And it looks like we're going to be rewinding the clock back, and I mean all the way back to 1941, as we are going to feature the Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Yankees as these two go at it on the latest installment of World Series Rewind. And get this, folks, this series between the Yankees and the Dodgers was the last World Series played prior to World War II. Who will come on top of this matchup? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in next time here on the History Maker Baseball Express Hour when we go back to Express Play. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the History Maker Baseball Express Hour, played with Full Play History Maker Baseball, a baseball league baseball simulation board game, your own baseball legacy on your game table. It is a property of Play Games LLC, copyright 2013, all rights reserved.